sick. I have ulcerative colitis and meniscus disease, which has been slowing me down a lot. I just feel so confused. I just don't know what to do. I have no guidance when it comes to like food and fitness, and I feel so stuck. I've hired personal trainers. I'm seeing a dietitian now. I've seen a naturopath. I've seen like a lot of doctors. I do have ulcerative colitis as well, which makes it hard for me to eat certain foods that are, considered healthy. And I don't have any motivation at the moment, but like every day I wake up and I'm telling myself today is going to be the day. Today is going to be the day that I'm going to eat well and do well and not be upset and get my life together, but it just never happens, and I'm just so sick of it. Like, I'm so sick of letting myself down. And it's just such a long process, and I was just like, I'm thinking in my head, like every time I get, these visions of me confident in my body and just, looking good and feeling good, like I just want to cry. Like, it just makes me so happy, just to think about it being a possibility even. Like, low place in my life. I'm 21. Like, how is it that I'm wasting away?
I work 8-hour shifts. I come home, I study, I play with my birds, I hang out with my family. I feel very normal. Like, even before everything went crashing down on like my stomach and my bowels and everything like that, like when I lived my old normal, I would go to work and then that's it. I need to sleep for the whole day. I was on like diapers for like a very, very long time. Like, I didn't think that I would eventually get better. I was like, I've got too much complications going on, and I felt myself deteriorating, and I was like, I'm just going to wait for that to happen, because now I got my stomach removed and that's out of the way and I can eat. But now I was thinking that now that I can eat, my flare will go away, but it didn't. Like, if anything, it got worse. And also, side note, the steroids actually gave me severe osteoporosis, and I fractured my back in 5 places just by getting up. Yeah, me and my mom, we called you and we were like desperate, and I was like, they told me, I think a couple of days before we contacted you, that my bowel wasn't working, so it's time to remove your bowel. And I was like, I just removed my stomach. You can't take my bowel. Like, I have to do something. I had those medication Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday things, and I think there were like 18 to 19 every day. My cycle came back. I haven't had it for, I think, 5-6 years, so that's also a win. Current assessment is of clinical remission. I went on Uber Eats and I looked at Macca's and I was like, nah. I just turned the Uber Eats app off. I was like, it's just something I just don't feel like anymore. It's so possible. Like, and it's surprising how easy it was. Like, not easy, but like a year later, and like a year ago, I thought that, like they told me that these are some things that I have to take for the rest of my life. So,
well, a year ago, you were about to get your colon removed.
Give this video a thumbs up if you know what it's like to live with IBD, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. This channel is designed to help people recover from colitis, Crohn's, and any other form of IBD. You can always head to our website, highcarbhealth.com, for a free 30-minute consultation from anywhere in the world. And remember, there is a life after colitis.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of IBD Heal, brought to you by High Carb Health. I'm your host Shakul, and I'm joined by Baraa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Baraa.
Nice to be here. Good to be here.
Baraa has an incredible story, so I'm not going to say too much, but I'm going to let her explain everything that's happened. But She has been through a lot in her journey for someone who's so young to have experienced what she's experienced. I mean, just to give you a little bit of a recap, she got diagnosed very young, and she's had many different complications along the way with, the medical treatments that she's had. But I'm not going to tell you what they are because that will spoil it. So, Baraa, why don't you just start discussing a little bit about, your journey, how you got diagnosed, and kind of your experience from there.
Yeah. So I got diagnosed in 2014. So I was 15 years old at that time. And I remember doctors being shocked that someone so young can, get ulcerative colitis. It took me like 2 months to figure it out. Like my symptoms just came falling on me. I remember I couldn't go to school. I had to be a meter from the bathroom every minute, every day. And that's when, my symptoms. So I blood present in the stool. I was always nauseous, always throwing up. I don't know if that's a regular symptom for, I know most people don't get that, but I was regurgitating like every single day, and I couldn't keep anything down. My doctor put me on Somac, prednisone, 50 milligrams, and there was a medication called Perilin, which was apparently a very old medication. And nothing really worked for me at all. Like, I don't think I've ever had a formed stool from then until maybe like a couple of months ago. Like, it was like it was a normal in a way that, like, okay, it was formed when I was on high doses of steroids. But when nothing worked, my doctor just kept me on steroids. So I would go from 50, 60, 75 milligrams, and I'll go on with my day. I did not know, like, I just thought this was a medication that was, helping me, and it's keeping me, functioning. I could go to work and all those things. And
So
I
what you're
tried.
saying, they kept you on like a reasonably high dose of steroids for how long?
From 2014 to 2020.
You were on steroids nonstop for that whole time?
Yes, I think the only time I was off it is when I was trying to wean off myself, which, I don't recommend. It just made me worse without. And because I started researching the effects of it, and I was like, why am I on steroids for that long? And I was only 15 years old. Like, my symptoms weren't that bad, like, starting off, like, in a way that it could have been helped a different way. Like, there could have been other medications introduced maybe, but it was just one of those doctors that was like, I'll come in, see her once a month. Oh, you're feeling sick again, and just increase the steroids and come back and see how you go.
And did you have a discussion with the doctor, or did the doctor discuss with you what could be the ramifications of being on steroids for that long?
Not for that long, but they just told me the symptoms I would have. So it was, I remember feeling extremely hungry, but I couldn't keep anything down. It was just a rough cycle. I was very angry. I was very sad. It really makes you emotionally unstable. It's just a lot. And also I did know that it deteriorates your bones, but I only knew that after 5 years. So I didn't know that before. Like, I was young, so I would come in with my mom. My mom didn't speak English either. There wasn't, proper communication. So I was just listening, and, the doctors were so nice and so friendly. Like, I just thought, like, why would they give me something that would eventually change my life? like forever.
And was there any discussion about the side effects and things like that, like that could happen? No.
I mean, I remember other GPs would tell me, but not my specialist. She would, yeah, it was just kind of like an in-out situation, I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're on the steroids for a long time, and that had some big ramifications on your body, didn't it? So would you like to explain to everyone what those ramifications are? And I think your story acts as a warning to people to make sure that you kind of question and ask and make sure that everything's okay. And if you're not sure, maybe get a second opinion even. I don't know. But what happened and what were some of the things that you had to deal with because of that?
Okay, so I'll tell you how it started. So in 2018, I was hospitalized for about 6-7 weeks because the throwing up got really, really bad. So I think it first started off, I regurgitated like once after months of it not happening. And then it started to happen twice a week, then 3 times a week, and then every single day. And it wasn't like normal. It was more so that I had nothing in my stomach. I would not eat at all, but I just had to bring out what was inside my stomach. So it was just acid, like reflux, blood. It was a lot of blood, and I would throw up buckets. And if I wanted to make plans or something, because I've gotten so used to it, like I'll just have to wait till 5 p.m. because I knew that I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m. I would sit up like this. I wouldn't want to lie down on my back, and I would just wait until it was over. And it was crying. It was just ugly. So I went into the hospital again and again and again, and they done endoscopies, they've done tests, and they didn't know what was going on. Or they said that my stomach has become so red and so like puffy, and like the ripples in my stomach were like that. Like it wasn't like a regular stomach where you see those little ripples. It was like mountains, and it was all like touching each other. So obviously there's it was called Menetrius disease, and obviously there's not a lot of evidence, but a lot of the doctors that I did see after my old specialist have told me that the overuse of steroids, which was unbelievable that they realized that I was on steroids for so long. They were so angry. Like they were telling me, who put you on this? What's happening? Like your stomach, the acid layer had completely broken, apparently. There was no protection. It was just there, and it wasn't working. Like it would work after 5 p.m. But after struggling with this every day, like just going into the hospital and coming back, like my stomach was just, it wasn't working. So one of the new specialists that I got referred to, like because I was a very difficult case, tried everything to, cure it, save it, kind of thing. But me and them decided that it was just time to remove the whole thing, because I would eat and I wouldn't even have a glass of water. Like I'll be so nauseous and I would be crying because I want a glass of water. Like my mouth was so dry. I was so lethargic. I was so dehydrated, and I would just cry that I wanted a glass of water. But as soon as I have that sip of that water, not only the water will come out, but it was just more mucus and blood. And the nurses I remember they'll jot down just how many liters I threw up that day. Like, and they would be crying as well. Like they didn't know what was happening. It would be like, Bara's throwing up again. I kept everyone up all night at home or in the hospital. It was, and all because of steroids, like something that I took confidently, like every day, thinking, that a lot of people with ulcerative colitis are on steroids. Like,
Mm.
I just thought that that was something that would help me. But these new team of doctors, they work as a team, so they have their own research. They do a lot of research and tests and things like that. And it took them a while to diagnose me as well. Like, I remember them putting me to sleep every other day just to see what was going on, like what's happening. We tried cetuximab, which is like an old chemo drug, which just gave me so much pain. And after I was like, just remove the whole thing. It's like a free weight loss surgery. Just get it away so I can eat. I don't care. It's giving me more pain than
So you ended up having
I can eat.
Yeah, of course you can eat. And so like so you ended up having the surgery to remove your stomach because of the fact that the steroids destroyed the whole thing, basically. Yeah.
Yes.
And so right now you don't. Yeah.
And
so
it was.
Don't have a stomach.
It was conflicting as well. No, I have. They made like a kind of stomach from my large bowel. So small bowel, large bowel, the long one. The small bowel.
Yeah.
So they made it's called a Hunt Lawrence pouch.
Right.
So it would be restricted after the surgery, but then it would grow to like a normal size, which it's been a year now. So I can eat more every day. Yeah.
Great. That's so good. And and so you had the issues with the stomach, but you also had other issues that happened because of the overuse of steroids. What were they?
It was very conflicting because I would go into a flare, a very, very bad one, because I wasn't eating and I was very distressed. Like, you know, when you get anxious and distressed and you're really upset, your body is like sick. So my body was very dependent on steroids. It was so dependent on steroids. I could not go under 15 milligrams for
Sorry, 15 or 50?
15.
15. Okay.
15.
I just wanted to clarify that for people listening. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So it was like that for most of 2021. Like, after I got my stomach removed, even during when I had the meningitis disease and the serious flare, like I was on like diapers for like a very, very long time. Like, I didn't think that I would eventually get better. I was like, I've got too much complications going on, and I felt myself deteriorating. And I was like, I'm just gonna wait for that to happen, because now I got my stomach removed and that's out of the way and I can eat. But now I was thinking that now that I can eat, my flare will go away, but it didn't. Like, if anything, it got worse. It got really bad. It was very painful. I had no signal when I wanted to go to the bathroom. I had to stay home. And also, side note, the steroids actually gave me severe osteoporosis, and I fractured my back in 5 places just by getting up. So my bones had been so like they deteriorated all those years, and I was 21 at the time. I remember I just got up from bed to rush to the bathroom, and then I just hear myself screaming and I fall down to the ground. Like, I've never felt like you fracture 5 places on your back all at once. Like, so it was a very depressing time. It was like I just had to be on diapers. Like, nothing. I couldn't walk to the bathroom. I had crutches, and I had a wheelchair, but I was upstairs and I just wanted to be in my little hole, and I just wanted to use the bathroom and just sleep. And the pain was very bad. There were days where I'll just have a lot of diarrhea, and then days where I'll just be fully constipated because I was on a lot of opioids as well. So I was using opioids for like 3+ years. It made me like that time, thinking of 2021, I was like very puffy. I was lethargic. I couldn't feel my legs. I had like blurred vision. Like I was like very like content with like, this is my life. Like I've been dealing with this since like I was 15 years old. I'm like, how can I expect something different now? Like that was my mindset.
And at that time, just tell everyone how many different medications you were on.
I was like a combination therapy. So we tried vedolizumab, infliximab, Imuran. I was still cutting down on the steroids, methotrexate, Xeljanz as well, which is something that they had to like sign for. But yeah, I was trying everything. Everything.
And you weren't having any
like
relief from the symptoms with any of those medications?
No, the only way that I would have relief at that time was they just gave me 100 milligrams of steroids. And I didn't want to be on it. So they would suggest, just by looking at me, they were like, let's go back up and we'll taper down slowly. Like, but after I fractured my spine, I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, if like, you know, it was very conflicting for a long time. Like I had no hope. I was like, if I go this way, this happens. If I go that way, this happens. And yeah, so I was, the longest I was on the combination, I think it was infliximab and Xeljanz and the steroids.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. What a story. I told you. I told you this was one hell of a story that you know, Baraa has gone through. So I guess from there, like, what made you think about looking at your lifestyle, and how did you find out about the plant-based diet and high carb health?
I found out about it when I was very young. But I just didn't think that I could do it. Like I was like, oh, imagine me being one of those people that can go on a plant-based diet and actually heal or whatever. So I think I watched one of your videos, and I kind of forgot about it for a while. And then I remember signing up with you, and I was begging you. I was like crying. And do you remember how like we were Skyping and I'll put you on mute just to throw up and I'll come right back? And we had to do that all the time. I'm like, sorry, one moment. And I'll be like, and come back. Me and my mom, we called you and we were like desperate. And I was like, they told me, I think a couple of days before we contacted you, that my bowel wasn't working, so it's time to remove your bowel. And I was like, I just removed my stomach. You can't take my bowel. Like I have to do something. Like, and I know that I just have to, you know, be strong and just do it. Like I'm like, it's worth giving it a go. And how I feel now, which is, you know, good and really great, and we'll talk about that later. But I feel like if I committed earlier, maybe my stomach wouldn't be so bad. Maybe I would have been off the steroids, maybe, you know. So I don't know, it's a learning experience.
You know, there's a lot of maybes in life, and we talk about this to all our clients. You know, one of the very important aspects of healing is letting go of things that have happened to you in the past and not letting them eat away at you, because there's so many things in everybody's life that we can say, I wish I'd done this differently or I'd done that differently, but this is part of our journey in life, you know. And the fact that you've gone through that experience, you know, you're going to be able to help other people maybe not have that experience, and you can share this story and kind of, you know, be a shining light for people that, okay, even if this has happened to you, that is not the end. You know, you can actually still turn your life around, and you can still make things happen, and you can, you know, take control of your health. You don't have to rely on other people to tell you that you need to take this and you need to take that, and you know, that's such a big thing now. Okay, so I think we'll talk about your journey in a second because it wasn't easy. I think it's important at this point to let everyone know that you're still not 100% off your medications. Like a lot of our clients 100% get off our medications, but I want to make it clear, like Bara's still on one medication only out of all the medications she was taking. She's been able to drop a lot of them, but a lot of people think that me and Shamiz, we're against people being on medication, and that's not the case. Like, obviously we would love everyone to get off their medication, but I want to make it really clear, like in Bara's case, for her to have so much relief by changing her diet and her lifestyle, dropping all those medications, to only be on one medication is a real victory for her. And, like that's a major, major achievement that she's been able to do. And, down the line, maybe she'll be able to get rid of it. And maybe we'll do another video then when you do that. But, like right now, she needs some stability in her life. And if the diet and taking this one medication is giving that to her, then that's what she needs to do at this stage in her life. So, I think we get unfairly criticized for, some people say, oh, we all guys are dangerous, you'd help everyone to get off the medication. And here's the example: she hasn't come off a medication. I haven't told her to get off a medication. And I think it's a combination of, the medications weren't working until she changed her diet. And now that we're able to get her in a much better place, this one medication's managing to give her some kind of stability until she's ready to move to the next stage. So you had some notes that you'd made that you wanted to read up. Maybe this is a good time to kind of read these. She's got a whole lot of notes from a doctor, like a before and after kind of thing. It might be a really good one to go do that now.
I will read those, but I also want to add in that I remember asking you, I'm like, can I just stop my medication? Like I want to be like you guys. I just don't want any medication to control everything. And you quickly told me no, that's dangerous, and to take it slow, and like ask for advice and see how you feel. So I'm on one, but it's not the prednisone, which is
thankfully.
Like
we'll talk about that. Like, I think, how many different medications were you on?
I had those medication Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday things, and I think there were like 18 to 19 every day. Like I remember I used to like count, it was like 19 to 20 pills a day.
Exactly. And so like to go from that, change your diet and able to get off all of those pills and only on one infusion now, like it's incredible. You've done such a good job, and there's still more to come. So but I think Baraa and I really wanted to share her story because we want people to know that like, just because you haven't gotten off all your medications yet doesn't mean that you haven't succeeded, because she had, like, look at the difference that she's here talking to us, she's not vomiting everywhere, she's not in the hospital, she can live a normal life, and I think because a lot of people think, okay, I'm still taking some medication, I must have failed, or I mustn't be doing something right, whatever. But it's a journey. The health is a journey, and you've got to take your time sometimes, especially when you've been through an ordeal like Baraa has.
Yeah, you have to be patient. I mean, it took a long time, but like, it's not a long time, but you can't expect to just like have one apple and you'll be fine. Like it's a journey, but it's a beautiful journey. Like you learn so much about your body. Like you learn what's good for your body. Like you start to like love yourself. I don't want to be cheesy, but like I like even recovered like like a little binging phase that I had. Like it's just like a lot of things. Like I feel like my mind is right. Like I feel good. I just give my body what it needs. And okay, all
right, so let's go through this before and after for your notes. I'm excited to hear this.
Okay. So before, I think me and you spoke, it was around January of we spoke 21. Anyway, so this is before you existed in my life. Okay, so November 25th, 2020. So these are just words, just an email that I have. So my doctor will send me letters after every appointment to basically sum up the consultation and what she found present. Okay, so ulcerative colitis. then she's got the medications, Salifort 4.5 daily. I was taking folic acid, methotrexate, weekly subcut, Remicade. Not doing well. Vomiting has been an issue since Sunday. Nauseous all the time, vomiting or retching during the day and in the middle of the night. Feels nauseous, then vomits. Diarrhea every day, watery, blood present 7 times a day. At night, about twice a night, fevers. It said no temperature was taken that day. Forgot. Anyways, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
She was just writing.
Yeah. So what was the date again? Just remind me of the date of that.
25th of November 2020, and at the end she wrote was of mild disease, and then she's got some, you know, like blood test results, but so I look at December 2nd 2021. That was after being on a plant-based diet.
Yeah, so Baraa started the program with us in March 2021. So this is December 2021. We've been working together for a little while.
Okay. She wrote post endoscopy review normal, endoscopy 23rd of November 2021. My cycle came back. I haven't had it for I think 5-6 years, so that's also a win. Current assessment is of clinical remission. And that's what she wrote.
You're gonna make me cry.
I know, I'm gonna cry. I was looking at it the other day and I was like, I can't believe it. Like I used to watch you know, you doing interviews on YouTube and stuff like that, and I was like, imagine me, like imagine like something that great happening to me. Imagine, I just didn't think, like, because I saw everyone that, you know, on the channel, and I would say, but like, oh, but they don't have Meniere's disease, like we're so different. Oh, but they don't have this, they don't go like throw up all the time, they don't, you know, like, so yeah, so it's really cool.
There's probably so many people watching this right now thinking the same thing, you know, but
yeah,
it's not about us focusing specifically on one thing. We teach you how the body heals itself, and we're just giving you the right conditions to allow your body to heal. And you know, if you are willing to put the time and the effort in, and you know, your journey wasn't perfect. It wasn't like you were like, you know, like amazingly strict on it the whole time. I mean, you know, it would have been better if you were, but you weren't. But you know, I think you know, we'll talk about that, you know, the whole experience of, you know, how your journey went, you know, because there were times when we were working together initially that you were like, I don't know what I'm going to do, I don't know if I'm going to get better. You know, your ups and downs, like, you know, you wouldn't believe.
I'll call you just to cry. I remember I was like, what do I do? This isn't working. It was like literally the first couple of weeks. And I'm thinking it's going to be a miracle after years of you know, damage that my body has been through. And yeah, so it was a lot.
And before we go into what your journey was like, just tell everyone, because you're telling me before, like how you, because you know, you literally were at a point where you got up to go to the toilet and fractured 5 bones in your back, 5 areas of your back, right? So what can you do now? Like, how's that experience? So obviously big change in diet.
Yes. So
and you don't get enough calcium without milk, all right?
No. It just makes me feel sick. But so for I think a year, it took a year to, you know, finally get better. And I thought that when it comes to bones, like that's it. Like there wasn't a lot of information, and I don't know what happened, but the past couple of months I've been doing the bay run like every couple of days. It's like a 7-kilometer walk. I remember doing it the first time and I was like, I can do it again. Like my back was just getting stronger. My posture started to get better. I can jump which I didn't jump for like a year. Like I would just like do like that, and I'm like, oh, that's enough. Like I was walking like an old lady. Like people will see me, like I would have crutches everywhere that I went. My back was always arched. Like it was fractured. It was bad. I lost 10 centimeters in height because like they like collapsed. But now I can walk around. Like I don't know if I told you, but I got a job like 2 weeks ago, and I work like full time.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah. Yeah, I go all the way to the city, North Sydney, and yeah, like I feel normal. Like I go out with my friends, because I remember when all of that happened, like the only way that I can see them is they came over and I was sitting on my bed, and that's it. But now we go out. I go out with my family. I love moving around. I love exercising. It like that's also something that I never thought will heal, because I was like, okay, fine, the meniscus disease, okay, but all right, I healed ulcerative colitis, but what about my back? Like, and then that's like, life has just been so good to me. I don't know. I'm very thankful. I didn't know that would get better, but it did.
So let's talk
But
about your. Oh, sorry, you finish first.
Like I was like a couple months beforehand having like high calcium foods, but like not dairy or anything like that. Like I think it was soybeans I was having, tofu, and all those things. And I was like, okay, let me just have my calcium for the day. But I don't think that contributed a lot. I think it was just me eating really well every day.
Yeah, absolutely. So now let's go through your healing journey, because obviously you've been working with us now for almost a year, right? So it's been quite a while, but obviously it needed to be, because we needed to take things slowly. So let's just kind of go through the different phases of what you went through, and like the back and forth that you did in terms of diet. They talk about the binging and stuff like that, and how that impacted you. A lot of stuff happened, and I must say this young lady is a very, very strong lady to kind of get over all the different things, especially mentally, that she's been able to get over. It's been amazing to witness your growth.
My breakdown. It's okay, you're welcome. It mentally, it's so important. Like I was always doubting myself, and I never believed that I could. But once I did believe and felt like I deserved that, like it just started falling into place. It's like your mind listens to your body when it's telling you like it's healthy. Like I was, but in the beginning, I started off with the transition diet, which was the that was easy. It was fun. Like I had vegan pizza and pasta and spaghetti, and it was all yummy. But also, I had to take responsibility, because although falling sick is like, obviously it's not your intention that it happened, but I truly believe that when we damage our bodies like early stages, like it is going to suffer towards the end. So like I had to kind of reflect and be like, what did I do when I was younger? Like how did I eat? How was my lifestyle? And I was always on antibiotics, which I know that are not good for the microbiome. I was a very picky eater. All I had was bread and cheese. That's all I would have. And sometimes, no, most of the time I have like, fried chicken, and I just like chicken, and I didn't want to have vegetables. I don't like vegetables. I don't like eggplant. I hated tomatoes. And now I love eggplant and I love tomatoes. But it was, so I kind of like took responsibility for that. And like mentally I told myself like, the foods that you eat, like, the ones that don't hurt you, so like plants and fruits and vegetables, they give you nutrients, but they don't hurt you, which is important, because when you give your body foods that don't make your body work hard for, like, try to break down, try to digest when it comes to dairy and hormones and meat. It kind of says like your cells are like, okay, we don't have to focus on digesting that. Let's go back to the damage that we already have and like try healing that. So I kind of got that mindset, like, and that was after I would always binge and like, give up, and I'll be like, I don't want to do this plant-based thing anymore. Like, I'll have Maccas and I'll have this, and then I'll start again, and then I'll have whatever it was. It was just oily. I always go for the most oily, most greasy food, and I thought that that's what I wanted, but it's just like your old habits that are coming back to you. And then I was like I started to write down also, like, the consequences of what will happen if I eat these foods, and they were never good. I was like, Baraa, you're gonna throw up all day. It's not worth it. You're gonna start your like healing. I wrote it here somewhere, but it was from 2021. And then I started to think about it. It's like, it's not about how food tastes, it's about how you feel. And honestly, the food does taste good. Like, it's all those times that like I binged, I always regretted it. Like, I'm like, if I just had that, I would feel better, and it's also tasting, and I would feel lighter, and I won't feel heavy, and I won't be sitting here crying because like and
now you got loose
also,
stools and you're throwing up again, and you're like, I
And
remember we were talking about it, like, because there were stages in the first 6 months where you would be quite disciplined and you do really well, and you start to feel better and see, oh, my stools are starting to form and the blood's going away and I'm not throwing up as often. And then like I wouldn't see you for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, and suddenly I'd get a call again. Oh, Shakul, you wouldn't believe what I did. And then like all the symptoms are coming back again, and like that's what happened. But that was part of your learning experience. And so sometimes we have to experience what we don't want to realize, okay, well, I do really want, and you feel better when you go and eat something that's not going to serve you or not going to help your body. And then you experience the effects of that, then you're like, it brings it more into focus. Okay, no, I don't want to have that again.
It's so true. And like, it's like when you also start eating right for a long time, like you begin to crave these foods, like the healthy ones. Like, I like every day, like I feel like I need to have fruit, or otherwise it just doesn't feel right. Like, because I'm just so used to having fruit every day. It's not like a drastic change of lifestyle. It's just like you're developing a new habit. Like when you focus on creating new habits and sticking to them, like that's what your body will want, because it's used to that routine. It's what you're like giving it every day. So now that I don't have, greasy, oily, deep fried food anymore, like I remember I told you, like, I think it was a couple of months ago, I was like, I went on Uber Eats and I looked at Macca's and I was like, nah. I was like, I just turned the Uber Eats app off. I was like, it's just something I just don't feel like anymore. It was a lot of up and downs, but then I finally had to kind of make a decision. It's like, Baraa, this is your life. Like, this is your health. If you don't have health, you don't have anything. Like, why would you sacrifice the next 3 days of feeling crappy just for something that you would eat for like 5 minutes? And not even that, I would like, my body would just throw that up as well. Like, it just wouldn't stay down. So I remember, like, I'll have like a cheeseburger or something, and then like after 20 minutes it just wouldn't go down, like, and I just had to throw it up. Like, it just, my body would just like reject it. It was weird, but maybe because my stomach issue. But it was, looking back, I just like, I wish I just told myself, just like, get over it. Like, it's fine. This is not like, this is literally the easy part. But
So how did you find your symptoms changed over time as because you did make the changes, and yes, you had a few blips along the way, but generally you've been pretty good with what you've been eating. So how did you find that your body was able to to change in symptoms from when you first started to kind of what it is now?
My one, I don't know if everyone's journey is different, but my one came out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Like, I started the plant-based diet. So wait, firstly, the pain stopped. So I remember when you put me on the healing diet, and I was eating those foods, I felt the pain immediately stopped because I wasn't working so hard on digesting my food.
Mhm.
However, the diarrhea was still present for like a very long time. But then I remember we had a meeting in July, and I think I had my auntie next to me, and I was like, guess what? I was like, I went to the bathroom like twice today. I think it was like 3 times, but like the day before, a couple of days before, I was going like 20 times a day. But I think what also had something to do with it is because I was happy. All I remember, the only difference was that I was very happy. I was having a good time and I was smiling. Like, I think that had a really big impact on how my body would function as well. Like, I didn't depend on my health to become better, to be happy. I'm like, okay, you're doing all the right things. You're doing everything perfectly. Just be patient, but just enjoy life while it's working. Like, just let it do its thing. Don't pinpoint. Don't be so food focused. Don't be like, okay, what if I'm doing? Like, just do what you have to do, and in the meantime, whatever you can do, like for yourself, whether it's hanging out with somebody, like a friend, or hanging out with family, or watching a movie, just enjoy yourself. Like, it's all going to come together. And yeah, it's very important to not be stressed, because I know that a lot of people with a chronic illness, your symptoms trigger as soon as you're stressed, and I was stressed for like a very, very long time.
Yeah, so I'll just do a little bit of a recap of everything that you've kind of been able to overcome, and you'll have to kind of step in and say, tell me if I've missed anything, right? So, obviously, you had the ulcerative colitis, so that means diarrhea and bleeding and mucus and things like that in your stool, which, as you said, up to 20 times a day. When you first started, 40 times a day. When you started, it was just, I think, there were days where you'd call me and I was like, you're like, Shukul, I haven't been out of the toilet, just literally that's all your whole day has been, in and out of the toilet. Then the vomiting, which also took a long time, didn't it? Like, there'd be days you'd go through periods where there wasn't any, and then suddenly you'd just be vomiting again, and that's all a byproduct of what's gone on with your stomach and things like that. Then you had the issue with the frailty in the bones, and any other physical symptoms that I missed? The pain, right? The pain and the cramping.
Also, I do want to add that it's very important. My albumin was at 3. The whole time leading up to like a plant-based diet. I remember we did blood tests every day. I was in the hospital for 6 months, so my albumin would go to 3. So they'll put me on feeding tubes. I had feeding tubes everywhere. And they tried to just pump me with more calories, but just nothing. It would go to 4, then it would go back to 3. And now it's on 35. So
Yep. Yep.
That happened.
And then, so the pain, the diarrhea, the vomiting, the puffiness, lethargic, and also this part, right? Because you're on medication for that, and you're not anymore. Am I right? Yeah. So the mindset, you were depressed, you were not, you weren't in a good place mentally, and you've worked through that, very, very hard while you've been working with us. And I'm not going to take any credit for that. I mean, we do have certain like strategies that we work with people to help with anxiety and things like that, but it's you can take those strategies, but you have to put in a lot of hard work to kind of self-reflect and understand who you are. And as you kind of mentioned, it's not cheesy. We need to love ourselves. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the bigger problems with society, is that it's cheesy to love who you are. Like, come on, like, when we listen to it that way, no.
Yeah, listen to your body, like,
Hmm.
and me and you, we spoke about this all the time, because I did have an issue with like self-love and things like that. You were
Mm-hmm.
recommending me some books, and like you were giving me some advice, but like like a couple years ago, I was so like angry about how I looked, and like all women, we kind of, a large percentage of us go through that. But now,
Mm.
like, I'm just so happy that I'm healthy. I'm like, okay, I would like, I wake up and I like meditate, and I'm like, what do you want today? Like, anything you need, whatever makes you happy. Like, what do you feel like eating? Like, just love yourself, and you deserve to heal. Like, I
Mm.
didn't think that I was like, worth it. Like, if, like, for example, you're watching this and you don't think that this can help for you, like, I didn't know how it felt to not be sick. Like, so it's just very surreal for me. Like, the fact that I can be here and I'm studying now and I have a full-time job, and I was always leaving my jobs and I couldn't, do anything. It's
Mm.
like, just love yourself enough to at least try. Like, love yourself enough to give it a go. Like, to just, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, overcome all of those things. And I guess, you can maybe talk a little bit about how you feel now, and like what your symptoms are like now, and how you feel in general.
Yeah. But I go to the bathroom a regular amount of times, 2 to 3 times. Uh, I'm able to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I work 8-hour shifts. I come home, I study, I play with my birds, I hang out with my family. I feel very normal. Like, even before everything went crashing down on like my stomach and my bowels and everything like that. Like, when I lived my old normal, I would go to work and then that's it. I get to
Mm.
sleep for the whole day. Like,
Mm.
I've got so, like, I was lethargic and tired all the time. Like, and especially now, like, recently I started adding more smoothies to my diet. So like, I'm just trying to add in more fruits, and like, and when I, started increasing that, I just feel like I feel awake. Like, I've got enough energy to do one thing and then the next thing, and then, after that, like, I feel like I can function,
Mm.
which is really awesome. Like, I'm thankful for that every single day. I'm like, wow, like, I never thought that I could be that person. Like, I just thought, like, I've got a chronic illness, like, that's it. Like, that's who I am. I have a chronic illness.
Mm.
Like, I kind of related that to who I was, which is also something that, I changed as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel amazing.
fantastic. Yeah, amazing. And for all you guys watching this, I really, Baraa was not sure whether she wanted to share this. I've got full credit that she's been, open and willing to come and share this, because honestly, like, to be where she was and to see where she is now, and the fact that she took control, changed her diet and lifestyle, and was able to make such amazing changes to her health and kind of start living a normal life now. It's full credit to you. It's an amazing achievement. So and there's still more to come. Like, this is just the beginning, right? So
Oh yeah, this is yeah.
yeah.
I want to start going above and beyond. I want to be
Mm.
active more. I want to, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's just
So
the beginning.
what I would, just to kind of end off this meeting and kind of the whole interview, can you just maybe talk through some bits of advice you'd give someone who's watching this video, maybe in a similar situation to you, or thinking about what they should do with their health?
I would say be like conscious of your body and what you put into it. Like another cheesy thing, love yourself, but that's a really big one. Don't be so hard on yourself as well. Like I was very hard on myself. When I made one mistake, like my whole world came crashing down. Like be patient with yourself. Like it's something that is new to you. But and also do your own research. Like look outside from what the doctor told you. Like I have people tell me like, oh, my doctor told me that I have to have this like red meat because my iron is low and stuff. But like and I'm not like trying to be like, you know, a hater against that, but like the science is literally there. And I was like shocked like that. Like my doctor would tell me like diet has nothing to do with this, or I saw a naturopath. I tried acupuncture. My naturopath doctor told me to stick with white foods, or like, you know, just have everything that's white for some reason. Don't have strawberries. He wouldn't let me have strawberries. You know, but like like read, like this, you're doing this for yourself. Like get some research, ask, like look around, see what's actually working. Like how many people have not only like yeah, maybe they would get your symptoms like under control, but do you want to like live like that for the rest of your life? Like it's so possible. Like, and it's surprising how easy it was. Like not easy, but like a year later, and like a year ago I thought that, oh, like they told me that these are some things that I have to take for the rest of my life. So
well, a year ago you were about to get your colon removed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you're sitting, it's still there. Right, it's still there. We haven't got rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a call like a couple months ago. They're like, "Hey, you skipped your appointment with Doctor blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't need to see him anymore, but thanks." Yeah, I love yourself, believe in yourself, and take control of your health. Also, I'm not saying also like no to medication, but a lot of the times I wish I told doctors no. They had put me in so, like, it was like a roller coaster. It was like this thing that they can experiment on, and every time I would say no, like I think I could have been more strict. Like this is like, you know, just be wary of what's happening to you. Like I said yes to prednisone, and then after that it was like cetuximab, and I was like, I don't want to take it, and it was so painful. Like just, but most importantly, love yourself, and you deserve to heal.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful advice. I'll just recap that. Love yourself and you deserve to heal. Yeah, and you kind of said it anyhow. Yeah. That's brilliant. All right. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, sharing is caring, and there's a lot of people who are really gonna, you know, like, I always think of myself when I find myself in a difficult situation. I think, has anyone else done it? You know, and I think, well, if other people can do it, so can I. Right? There's nothing about anybody else that I don't have. So if you're looking at this and you see what this amazing woman has been able to achieve, right? To be at, I mean, you talk about rock bottom, this was like below rock bottom, right? And and to be able to like pull herself up from there, and work really hard over the last year to be in the position she is now, you know, you can do it too, you know, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let anyone hold you back from achieving what you deserve, which is to be healthy. So for everyone watching this, you know, hope you've been inspired by Bara's story and her testimonial. You know, if you're listening to the podcast, please share this. If you're watching this on YouTube, please share this. You know, not many people get to see these amazing stories, so share it, please, so more and more people can know that you can heal yourself and you can get better. If you are watching on YouTube, if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon, which will give you updates of all our latest uploads. If you have any questions, there's a comment section down there. Please ask away and we'll do our best to answer them. And if you liked Bara's story, give her a thumbs up. let's see how many we can get. Yeah. And yeah, I think, thank you again, Baraa. Thank you again for coming along and sharing. It's been a pleasure to work with you so far. And for all of you watching, do what Baraa did: eat plants, and lots of them. Take care.